My name's Nev.
Something
It's
now.
good to see you again. So, before we get into it, I want to show you something. This is
Is it me and you when we were little babies or what?
yeah, look at that, brother.
Oh my goodness.
Big
Look
day
at
out,
those look
2001 Gold Coast.
at those glasses.
I
It's
know
awesome.
someone made those for you, and you're being interviewed by Channel V or something. And
Oh,
yeah. And look at me before I got round. And
that's awesome, man.
yeah, and there's this too. You
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah,
One of my
yeah.
favorite things in the world. There you go.
What's that little drum sequencer behind you on behind your shoulder there that
It's the Roadcaster. So that's the podcast. It's like an
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I
But it makes
I
this
got you.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Hear that?
familiar with that. I thought from a glance it was like a drum machine.
Yeah. I wish it was, because then I'd be able to like.
Well, it's funny because I was just literally looking at went down a little rabbit hole of these analog drum machines like an hour ago.
Oh, really?
So I've been staring at those glowing pads for the last hour or so. So when it popped up, I was like, oh shit. He's like, got it.
Yeah, no, I wish it was. It does make sounds, but not cool ones like that. So
I heard.
yeah, but
Well,
hey
good to
man,
see you, bro.
absolutely. Man, I'm so stoked that Alien Ant Farm are finally coming back to Australia after like what that since the last time I saw you.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's weird how we've um it's just weird how that place, I don't know why we've mentioned it so many times and
Mm.
it's like, oh yeah, and it kind of comes up in conversation, then it goes away. I wonder what like booking agents, even on our side, are like, what the hesitancy is, or I don't know, man. It's just a bummer because I didn't don't have any memory there other than good ones. So it's good that we finally came back or coming
Man,
back rather.
you guys were so good at Big Day Out. I remember just being packed into that tent there, and it was just chaos, dude. You brought the
What do
fire.
they call it? They call it nuts to butts when
Yeah.
it's all it's that tight.
Yes. It was, and it was great. That was really,
Yeah.
really good, man. That was so good. What was that tour like? Because for us down here, that was like the dream as a muso to play on the big day out.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, that it's like every region has their version of something that kind of grand or romantic in your mind. You know what I
Mm.
mean? There's like these Reading and Leeds type scenarios where you can like, you know what it is too? I always get intimidated, maybe not intimidated, but like a big, huge stage. I always feel like a smaller, tighter stage will always works for like rock and roll. For whatever reason, when I see this big, vast, I was always the kind of guy that wanted to be side stage with the big fat crowd that you could barely like, you can't see the end of, rather than like main stage. I don't know what maybe I don't feel I'm good enough or something like that. But I always kind of preferred that off to the side kind of you got to go there to see what you're going to see, and you kind of
Yeah.
roll out onto a big stage, everyone's there and can't really go anywhere or whatever. But anyways, I don't know why I went on that rant, but
No,
here we
no,
are.
I love it. I love it. That's amazing. Because it's stuff that we all dream of, and
Hmm.
you've done
For
it.
sure.
You've done it, bro.
Yeah, but I've done it every scenario possible, people drunk, five drunk dudes in a bar not caring about your band, or like 10, 15,000 all in kind of this weird communal
Mm.
healthy distraction vibe, and that's what you kind of aspire to. I dig those little 300 to 500 sweaty rooms where it feels like everything's kind of simpatico, and it's hard to get that in like a daytime setting when people are out there. I gotta take a piss or whatever. All the emotions that
Yes,
are going on
yes.
in that you almost can feel that you're not like synced up. But that big day out show was like a feeling of taking over one of those big crowds and you do feel kind of synced up, you know, and
Mm.
that's pretty cool. That's maybe other bands can do that like every single time they shoot out, but it's for me it's a little more rare to get that vibe, you know.
And man, well, I can't wait to relive it, dude, in Brisbane. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, that should be cool. I hope you come out and give a hug and give a high five.
I will not miss it, man. It's on the calendar already.
We
Uh,
got to recreate that photo. I got to find those silly goggles and travel with them all the way.
I will fight. Maybe that's going to be my mission is to find is to recreate them for you. I think they might be what strainers or something.
Yeah, don't spend too much time. I'd rather just us see each other.
Make it natural. But man, CKY are coming out with you. You're about to do a big run with those boys as well, hey?
Yeah, we're just getting emails are starting to come in. Just it's been talked about forever, but now it's like crazy to get like a tour manager, just the kind of little bells and whistles. Sometimes we just go like just ant farm with like one guy, you know. So it's
Mm.
nice to get a tour manager and just suss it out, make sure it's comfortable for us. And, you know, the idea is to do what you do and love it, but it's also like, you also want to like make a little bit of money on the way out, you know. It's like
Yeah.
that's the real dream, is like supporting yourself doing this stuff that you would initially like or initially set out to do for absolutely free. It's mind-boggling sometimes. It's like hard work in the sense where a little bit of your day really involves actual music making.
Yep.
And then even at times I feel like I'm covering my own songs, because something weird about just playing live, I don't know how creative it really is. It's you already did the creative part like in the room, you know what I mean? And
Mm.
so I don't know. I'm just talking.
No, no, no. I love that, dude. Because I get it. Because I'm going through that right now. Like me and the boys are playing now a little tour for
Okay.
this month, and it's all the things like, okay, so you got to get merch. We got to stock up on the merch before we go. All right, how much money we got? We got belly button lint and some buttons. All right, let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuel, accommodation, food. Let's eat noodles. Let's it's all those little things that people don't really, and we're just a little
Yeah,
metal band, man.
it real well still, I mean, you know, it is what it is. Like some people maybe fancy us like a bigger band than we really are, but because we do have that little bit of almost like a household name. I feel like everyone has heard that band name, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're, you know, maybe more infamous than you are
Mm.
famous or whatever. So yeah, we're doing it. We're doing what you guys are doing. We might have like a little bit more belly button lint than you, but we still got we still got some lint, you know.
Oh man, that's it. That's it. But man, you just released your latest mAntras, and it's already one of my favorite records of this year. Um,
Oh, cool, man. We spent a lot of time doing it. We tried to make it like proper, you know. You know, you do this stuff, so you just finding out that you do it as well. And sometimes stuff just kind of like falls into your lap, and you like a cool song, or maybe more like a cool verse, or not like a really completed song. But yeah, I mean, you can spend however much time you want. I really was like crawling down that rabbit hole of that Mantras record to like say exactly what I wanted to say, almost like an ode for me. Even though I knew it was going to go out, I also had felt like a little bit of pressure with thinking that there are not a ton of Ant Farm fans, but the ones that I know are really like pretty like into the band and appreciate that we fancy ourselves as pretty like unique and cool songwriters. So I felt like this record had to feel old school, but also like a flex to like our new lifestyles. With
mm,
me like being a few years sober, I wanted to make it feel like it was even more focused, maybe even a little bit more methodical in my ideas, or just my little clips of, you know, I'm not some kind of a philosophical lyricist, but there's little moments in the anthology record or whatever it took. When I hear him even now in hindsight, I'm like, wow, what a poignant, cool little like quip to say or whatever. And I want to like stack those and build those and have them in my resume. And these little moments in time, these records that we created, that this one again, I'm rambling, but
No, 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 you're not rambling.
I really like I wanted to make it be something like in 5, 10, 15 years, I could show my kids now and be like, wow, this is some songwriting. This isn't just like, of the time or something. Not that we are like timeless, because there are those bands that are truly, but I never feel embarrassed when I hear old Ant Farm or something. You know what I mean? It just doesn't hit me like a weird, like, you sometimes you go off on some diary entry tangent, you read it years later and you're like, oh my God, I'm a total asshole. But I don't get that vibe with Ant Farm. So I just wanted to be conscious of trying to like do that again and do it the right way.
I get that. This album, it's just, as I said, I love it so much. I want to get it on vinyl. I'm on the hunt for it.
We
But
spent all, yeah, yeah. Well, we spent, yeah, I did all my own, vocals, man, which was crazy because there was a lot of those songs didn't need it, I don't think, but I would go maybe 50, 60, 70 takes down the barrel, and then I'd
uh,
start to cut it. I'd go like word for word in my editing, and then I'm like, huh, I would step back and go, is this too surgical? Am I killing the flow or the vibe by doing this? And then I'd kind of wipe the slate clean, and some parts I'd melodyne. It was always in key for me, at least to my par. And then I would go ahead and tune stuff and then go, certain parts just sound better. I always have a tendency, at least me, I'm a little sharp. Almost with everything I sing is the tiniest little bit sharp. And I would find that a lot of times my sharper version, at least for my ear, was like more in key than when I tuned it to the actual note. It felt like I was like pulling the riff, you know what I
yeah, yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
when you start to get a little more detailed. And it was nice to see it. That's what's so cool about digital stuff sometimes. It was cool to just see the waveform like in real time. And I'm started to notice like this is like I'm doing this, my ears hearing this, I'm doing it like physically.
Yeah.
So there's a reason or something is happening here that I should leave alone, you know what I mean, and not fix. This is me kind of thing. And so there's a little bit of finding your place, where to fix things, where to leave them as. And it's funny, I'm talking about something so minute, you probably know because you do this stuff, but
Yeah, yeah.
my wife would come in and be like, listen to the like this subtle little piece. She's like, I don't hear the difference at all, dude. And I feel like I've had like some revelation, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh my God, look at this little, I just unlocked like the Rubik's Cube, like everything. And she's like, it sounds like, I don't know, it sounds the same to me.
And you're like, no, 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 no. I've broken the
Yeah,
internet.
I was, what are you talking
You
about?
just don't understand. Go, leave me alone. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. Hey,
yeah.
do you know what I did love?
What was
This
that?
song Glasses. There's,
Yeah,
there's,
that's an old song that I wrote um a long time ago, man. That one really did come out kind of quickly from my point. Acoustic guitar and vocals is obviously like every kind of mellow song you hear on Ant Farm record is usually like something that I brought to the band, almost not maybe finished, but pretty close. And through all the records, if it's that mellow, it came from Sappy, Poetic, Dryden, and Glasses. Is like I just love that song, man, and it's like it was cool as an idea when I had it, but when the band, just the accompaniment, the whole way, it just
yeah.
got so much bigger. I could send you like a demo of that song and just kind of you just A B from where it was to what it became is pretty cool, and it's just like fun to hear it all grandiose.
I had a moment with that song where it was like, the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's pointing at the TV because
Yeah.
I've got glasses and I collect Transformers. There was the
Okay.
Optimus Prime one, and I was like,
Yeah.
this song is talking to me. He's talking through the
Well, I didn't have. It was just a play on me, someone being a pessimist versus an
I know.
optimist, you
I
know. And
know. Yeah, I know.
I didn't have
Never.
anything to rhyme with time, so I just said, I'm pessimistic dry, and you're optimist prime, and that was like, that sounds kind of dumb, but
I love it.
phonetically, it just kind of fit, and I left it.
I love it. I love it, man.
That's
I love it so
that's
much.
cool.
But this album, of course, Swing Things Around,
Yeah.
is so
Uh-huh.
important to me. And
Yeah, that's
I've got a
cool.
few people that feel the same way in my circle. When that thing dropped, I was, oh man, real talk now. I was I was separated from my first wife. I was a young
Okay.
dad trying to find and navigate becoming a grown-up man. And that album, man, there was things in that that really just hit home with me during that time. And I'm sure you hear that all the time, man. But there was things
Yeah,
that,
well, you know what's crazy is I feel like we're just a part of, maybe you created that like scenario, and the music was happening at the same time. I
Mm,
have to imagine like your tough situation was like so crucial to make our music important. You know what I mean? It was like just as much your behaviors and your experience that made that a cool album. You know what I mean? Like a different record maybe would have worked also. So I appreciate you like letting us in and not just treating it like, oh, Smooth Criminal, what a fun song, but like digging a little deeper and knowing that there's like a band behind all that with like true emotion and we know how to like shapeshift, I believe, and kind
yeah,
of everything we do stylistically like doesn't feel forced. And it's really hard. I've learned just like with playing with other people that Ant Farm has this cool knack of reaching out into like Latin type vibes or
yeah,
anything that we feel like almost and make it not feel like a forced thing. It's when you start to delve into things you don't clearly really know the structure of, it tends to sound a little not wonky and not good. So I credit the band for making that so sturdy and letting me like get lyrical on those vibes.
I think that's the thing that I guess that I gravitated towards was I think you guys had more in common with a band like, say, the Police at the time than the bands that were rolling around at that time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
well, exactly, dude. We were in a position, or we were obviously just getting having conversations like I am with you, where there's like, how do you feel about being like new metal band? And it's weird because I was like, I have nothing against that genre,
right.
whatever it is, but I felt so far removed from that, even though we were called that. Or when
Yeah.
someone would just kind of, I'd read a review that were like pop punk or something, and I'm like, did this person get the wrong record?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know
I-
how we're pop punk, like, which, and I love pop punk, you know
yes.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So it's just weird, like new metal and all that, like you're describing. Anyways,
I love it, man.
yeah, yeah, it's cool. I felt like we were again just for maybe to our own detriment, refusing to kind of be that thing, new metal or whatever it was. I felt like maybe if we found a style or a groove, we would like recreated that a bunch of times. We'd might have more success because some like people don't like too much change, and I
Mm.
feel like we were venturing off into like little weird, I just remember showing like, uh, our showing our A&R guy at the label like the second record and showing him like Tia Lupe, a total Latin song. He's like, I feel like he was like not happy, like because it was just, you know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
wants
yeah.
to sell this to people that love like hard rock or whatever, and we're over here freaking sounding like a damn mariachi band, but we're loving it and we're doing it properly. So we're like, what's up? You don't like this? It's so great, and I can almost see from his side going, these guys are freaking nuts, man. Why
Oh,
don't you
man.
give me the goddamn? Why don't you give me a hit? Give me a hit. Like I don't know. These days is a hit. I don't care. Whatever. Go ahead.
Oh, there was hits. There were hits, man. And like, but then there's Wish, which was on Tony Hawk, which was rad because it was, you'd be playing, you're playing that it's like a band I like on the did that
Yeah, it was a big deal for
would have
us,
been
dude. Like DreamWorks just got like it was weird. That was the first right around that time was when like placements in besides, obviously a song on the radio was a big
Mm,
deal. But I when I heard about being in Tony Hawk, I thought that was like way cooler and crazier than being on the radio, because even I was like, man, just such a fan of video games. Not at that time. I feel like I'd kind of grown out of it. Some people don't ever, and that's cool too. It's a great distraction.
Yes.
Um, but like, yeah, I was just like, kids are gonna play this like all fucking day and learn to dig this. We're kind of right there, shit, sitting shotgun with them, you know. So that's pretty dope.
And the fact that, it was there were kids that were discovering bands through, because they didn't back then, right? That little pocket, there was no Spotify and all this. There was the internet, of course, and
Yeah,
MySpace and all that. But then
it
there,
just hadn't been so figured out, so finite like it is right now. Yeah, you still had to kind of
but
you still getting introduced to stuff.
yeah, but the bands on that, old bands, new bands that kids were like, holy shit, and going out, and then I'd see them wearing the shirts. Man, it was a special time, man. I think that,
That's cool.
yeah, it was awesome. But talking about the second album, Truant as well, you worked with the DeLeo brothers, which would have been
Yeah,
rad, man. How was it working with those dudes?
it was just such a phenomenal like time. Everything was weird. In the sense of like having these like icons, you know. It was a little nerve wracking almost, you know. I felt like I had tremendous nerves singing in front of those guys, knowing that, you know, Scott Weiland was their main man, you know, and
Mm.
it's such a natural, like I don't feel myself as being like a natural in that sense. I felt like I had to work like hard to be the singer that I am, and I have this peculiar trebly high voice, or I don't know, all these insecurities or whatever. And so at the end of the day, they just gave me mad respect and knew that we were doing something cool. So I list like as the days went by, I have like putting my guard down and just trying things, and you know, it's just weird to make any comfort out of like, oh, whatever my lyric was about some lost love or whatever the fuck was going on in my head. Always felt like so it was almost criminal to share it with anybody. So to share
Yeah.
it with those guys made me feel a little like quaking in my boots, but I did get used to it, and it was ultimately like the best decision for that time, for that record. I wish we could do more music with those guys because they come from such a cool place. You know, Robert is like this monster musician,
Yeah.
songwriter. Most people don't even know that, you know, the bass player for Stone Temple is just like the complete backbone of that band, you know, and just like it's just it was just cool to be around. You'd have to be dumb for it to not like seep into your DNA a little bit
Yes.
if you kind of know what you're doing a little bit and you're accepting of them. Yeah, it was awesome, man. I remember just tripping out that we were doing it with them.
I would have felt exactly. I didn't know what I'd do.
Yeah, I remember one time we were dude, we were staying at the Morning View, you know, Morning View, the Incubus record.
Yeah.
Uh Morning View is the name of the mansion that Incubus recorded that record at. It's like
Yeah.
this crazy house in Malibu. We didn't record there. We just went there to write. So we were staying at the Morning View house, this like 30,000 square foot house, dude, with like we're not like rich guys, dude. We just got like this crazy budget to be able to do this, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're like, fucking A, we don't want to like try and make a record in a house and like rent all this gear and bring it in because we know the nightmare that can ensue with all that. So
Yes.
we're like, let's stay there and let's write every fucking day. And Robert and Dean were coming in there every day, watching us write, chipping in where they could here and there. I remember like Dean took me horseback riding one morning with his two horses, and I'm sitting there like looking over the like Malibu Canyon, just going, "This is not supposed to be like my life. This is crazy and amazing." So again, I've never experienced something like that since. So even just talking about it right now, I haven't even thought about it in a long ass time. It makes me like, oh man, I wish I was a little more sober back then. I wish I could like, I wish I enjoyed it more because yeah, at the time I did enjoy it, but it was like, you know, we were just crazy kids, like getting fucked up, and this is the way it's supposed to be. And
Yeah.
like now I know at 40, I'm like, No, it is not, dude. Like that is like a gift, bro. And so yeah, it was a gift and it was cool as hell. It was really, really good time. But and
Congrats on
the music came out like deserving of that time, dude.
yeah.
I still like I don't like listen to Ant Farm a ton. I do when we're making it. But
Mm.
yeah, when every once in a while like a song like Goodbye or something comes on from that record and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is like you just said with your life
Yeah.
and what you were going through." I get all welled up thinking about Dean and his horses or something over some weird bridge in that of some lost song in that record, you know?
I did want to say congrats on your sobriety too, brother. Like,
Thank you, dude. Cheer.
yeah, man, absolutely. This is water. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. But man, I gotta say that's unreal. You were saying before, I know we gotta wrap things up. I think you got another one coming through, do you?
Um, at at the 30 mark. I don't know how. Oh, it's two. Yeah, we gotta go. But
Yeah.
are you
Yeah,
still
sorry. Sorry,
okay?
brother.
Yeah,
I'm holding on. I
yeah,
just
yeah.
want to know, of course, you
Oh,
mentioned
you know what? I think this is from 2 to 3, so we can extend it if you want to.
oh, I just
It's
wanted just want one more question.
yeah, you're good.
Um, you said you're messing around with some electronic stuff, drum machines and stuff. Is there a solo album in you that you're playing with?
Dude, I have like hundreds of like these like minute clips, minute and a half, 2 minute here. Some are completed, the majority are not. Like I just really will. I'm the king of verse and chorus, and then I like go somewhere else. I'm scared to death of bridges, so I leave. I find the hook or whatever, find the lead into the hook, and then I bounce and go on, move on to something else. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, as through my sobriety and like kind of like just itching to do more, more around the house, more with my kids, more with
Yeah,
music because like I love Ant Farm, but I also have all this like stuff over here that's like just as important and not like I'm a better musician or anything like that. These guys are amazing what they do, guitar and drums and bass and but I have these weird little ideas that I was like, why not throw them down and but I don't know if they care to show them to anyone again. Maybe I'm feel like Marty McFly's dad in Back to the Future is
oh,
like, I don't, what if they don't like it? I don't know if I could handle that kind of rejection.
shit. That was such a good impersonation. So
Yeah, well,
I get that in my head too. Yeah, I've got all this stuff. I don't no
and
one
I just
hear it.
do it. Just keep
Yeah.
making it. And it doesn't even matter if you show it to anyone. Just keep making it and deleting it. Make it more and delete more. Make it more and make more.
Yes, because that's that creativity flow, bro. You got to do it and you got to push through it. That's what you got to do.
Yeah,
I
for
get it.
sure.
I get it. But of course, what's next for you and Ant Farm going into the future? Talking about Back to the Future, we're talking about the future.
Yeah, well, we're just kind of getting shows together, tours together, trying to like lily pad, link little pockets of tours. We're still doing weekend dates right now after that like 40 show run we just did in the US and on to UK and Europe and Australia and New Zealand. Um I don't know. We can definitely write more, but I want to like push this record. I don't want to just
Mm.
move on from it. Like even if it's not like socially accepted in some mass level, I feel like that might have maybe already happened if it was going to be the case. I want to like push this record to. I feel like it's deserving of not just an album cycle. Bands do it. I know it's like annually you're supposed to push something out but no, man, I want it to be right. I want it to be good. And I think this could like carry for a couple years. I think that it should. I don't want to move on from it right now. I just don't.
No, I get it, man. And it's as I said, man, it's such a solid album. It's already like in my top
That's
10.
dope.
Already in my top 10, bro. I gotta get that record. I gotta hunt it down. I'll get it here. In
Yeah.
Brisbane.
Come give a high five and let's have a little chat in person. Be
That would,
cool.
you know what, man? That'd be unreal. That'd be really, really cool to reconnect with you and recreate the legendary. Oh no, it's upside down. The legendary
I'm
photo.
down. I feel like I look like Wayne Static, but I just need your hair on my head, and that would be like together we make like Wayne Static almost.
I wonder if we could do like the face swap.
Yeah.
Do the face swap. Like, see if I go like this, you know what I mean? Like, then I'm you. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
there you go. Like, hey everybody.
All right, now do yours on mine.
I no, it doesn't work. All good. All good. Hey, brother, take care of yourself. Enjoy your summer. We're gonna have all the links down here in the show notes and on the website.
Yeah.
See you soon, bro. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for the conversation. It was nice and comfortable and super, super cool. You're good at what you do.
Man, that means a lot you saying that. That really does.
Cheers, dude.
Thank you,
Right
brother.
on.
Take care, man. See you soon.
All right, bro. Cheers.